to Diana. Okay, honey? So in the collective, there's a constant pressure, even for the beings that have been sharing their wisdom, sharing their teachings for a long time. And it's started to change their teachings. It started to force them, in a way, to go into new directions that wasn't necessarily driven by the truth of their being. Some of those things were then those expressions of self. They were expressions of egoic consciousness, okay, that these different beings upon the path felt forced into it in a way, because they felt they wouldn't be heard through the purity of their own teachings. Okay. But the thing is, there's a roadblock with this. There's a roadblock that comes when, for the teachers upon the path, when they don't stay true to what they actually know through their own self-realization. So what happens is the truth of their own self-realization embodied within that being came to a sort of testing ground. And now the fork in the road comes where they must choose which path that they take. Whether they choose to move from their purity and their being, and move from identity. And so at this fork in the road, these beings, these mentors, these teachers are being asked to choose very specifically which road they are to take. The beings that choose to move forward in the truth of their being through their embodied self-realization will continue to flower in their teachings and in their being, will continue to flower in their being. because they're moving from a space that is honoring their sacred path in the totality of who they are, of who they truly are. It means that these beings are living and breathing embodiments of their masters. So these beings are carrying the light and the torch of their masters. They are not hiding behind their altars. They are not hiding behind their master's light. Okay, in secret. These beings are choosing to open themselves to be channels of truth and to not go the route that is actually fueling others with more identity. I also have been tested with this upon my path. Thoroughly tested with this upon my path. And from my experience, it's so much more important for the beings that are anchored in the truth of their being to be the ones that are speaking and teaching at the forefront in humanity and in the evolution of consciousness. The beings and the mentors, the teachers that are promoting and teaching others how to remove the veils of identity and not be deeper and deeper entrenched in egoic patterns. Here, let me go in front of you so I can help you. Hold on, give me your other hand. So through this point in consciousness where I think teachers and guides have felt a sort of pressure, where is this pressure truly coming from? This pressure arises it can arise from a sense of mission. It can arise from a sense of mission. But as you remove the veil, which can be the one carrying the mission forward, for example, which can feel like a huge burden, and you simply unveil yourself, you allow your divine self to shine. You don't need to force it. You don't need to force the mission. You don't need to grind it into place. The divine perfection is manifesting, regardless of whether you choose to do it through ego and through being the one that has to carry the entirety of the universe on your back. Or if you simply allow your light, no matter how many people you are speaking to or not, okay, it's not so much about the amount, okay, because being in contact and transforming or illuminating one soul, even one soul, can be more powerful than speaking to even millions. Because sometimes the one soul that you're contacting and you are speaking to is the one who's more powerful than a group of millions. So I'm more interested in beings who desire to be fully awakened from within and walk a path that is in alignment with their soul force. Than having to reach millions of sheep that are playing with the path, who don't really care, who are insincere in their being, and who won't take it all the way, who won't take themselves through every single obstacle and challenge that comes their way. So it's not about pushing the mission or pushing the expansion, but it's more, and there are moments you must push, okay? There are moments on the path where, yes, you must push yourself out of certain spaces. Yes, this is required and this will occur. These obstacles will come to test you, to test your strength, to test also the masculine force within you that needs to be awakened because perhaps it's too weak. Okay? But to progress the mission and the evolution of consciousness, you need to be able to unveil your truth of being, your totality of self, and simply reveal it, allowing yourself, not your ego, not the different personalities and manifestations of you, those are less important than allowing the mission to bloom through your naturalness of who you truly are. And through this sincerity, devotion, and vigilance upon your path, you will no longer feel that you have to hold the entirety, because you will emanate the energy in which you are destined to emanate. That is your soul's essence in its multidimensionality. Okay? You have to drop the ideas, the false notion of enlightened versions of yourself in order to become who you are. And who you are might be much different than who you might imagine yourself to be, or who you may desire to be, or who you think you should be. So this is about unveiling, removing identity, and allowing yourself to be as you are.